these days, which is understandable since suits seem to be the standard uniform for the New York Knicks. Those wearing more suitable basketball attire hung tough against the Blazers last night, and in the closing moments had an opportunity to win the game. But following the missed free throw, Allen Houston unable to convert a three-pointer. Critical errors followed, much to the dismay of Jeff Van Gundy, and the Knicks suffered yet another in a series of heartbreaking defeats. The last time the Atlanta Hawks challenged the Knicks at the Garden, New York found themselves in an eerily similar situation. This is the third ball, tipped out to Houston. Allen Houston a three. Allen Houston drills the three, and we're tied at 89. Unfortunately for the Knicks, Houston's heroics were eclipsed by those of Steve Smith, whose game-winning put a dagger in the hearts of Knicks fans, and once again inflicted a case of heartburn for the young coach. Tonight, less than 24 hours after a bitter defeat, the Knicks are back to try and break some hearts of their own. Square Garden. It's time for New York Knicks basketball. Tonight, the Knickerbockers host the Atlanta Hawks. Another important game for the Knicks tonight in the Eastern Conference race. Knicks currently in the 6th spot, despite tied with Cleveland. They own the tiebreaker by beating them in the season series. Atlanta right now in the 5th spot in the Eastern Conference. And John Starks will make his first start of the season tonight. Chris Mills, by the way, will return, but Jeff Van Gundy will go with Starks at the 2 guards. Allen will move to forward. And hello again, everyone. Along with John Andres, I'm Mike Green. No rest for the weary. Knicks have to bounce right back after another disappointing defeat last night. They've certainly had their share of them, but last night against the Blazers, the Knicks had opportunities to win. The reasons they even had those chances was the play of Charlie Ward. Ward took advantage of no Damon Stoudemire for Portland and really played well. Tonight, Mookie Blaylock will not play for the Hawks, and you can bet Charlie Ward's going to be aggressive offensively once again.
Yes, the Knicks need him to do that, and he sensed it last evening, and he was really on target with an outstanding offensive performance. Charlie had it all working last night. The need was there, and he did it. And when people lay off him, Charlie was looking for the shot, and the jumper was hitting. Everything was hitting for Charlie last night. Again, when the defense doesn't come up and press him, why, he'll take that jump shot with confidence. And when they do come up on him, Charlie's proven time and again this year he knows how to finish around the basket. Big evening for him last night with a career high. 19 points, shot the ball well wherever he was. Throw in 11 assists and 6 rebounds, and you say the guy was an all-star performance last evening for Charlie Ward.
But of course, Charlie Ward can't play center, and this past week has been a nightmare for the centerless Knicks in terms of the matchups. The 7-foot giants have been on the schedule. Charles Oakley has done his best. He's played very hard, but it's a difficult matchup. It started last Saturday with Ilgauskas of Cleveland. Oakley really held his own, in fact, outplayed the rookie. But then there were more. Rick Smith, all 7'4", showed his offensive prowess against Oakley in the Pacers win here at the Garden. And then, of course, there was last night against Portland. Arvydas Sabonis just too dominating, too tall, and too strong as Oakley struggled against Arvydas Sabonis. Tonight, he goes against Dikembe Mutombo, another 7-footer for the Hawks. And Mutombo is somebody, they've had their extracurricular activities.
Yes, they've had very testy moments as Charles Oakley, with his physical style, tries to cut Mutombo down, who's not that fluid in his movement, but he stands tall, and Oakley bangs him around a lot, and there's no love between these two. That'll be very interesting tonight because Mutombo is not normally a high-scoring center, but last night he comes off a high-scoring game against Milwaukee, and you would expect tonight that the Hawks will pour the ball into him and let him use his height advantage over Charles Oakley.
And also, again, without Mookie Blaylock, they'll need offense from other areas, and Mutombo certainly will try and do that. Knicks and the Hawks, they're even so far in the season series. They'll tip off again shortly. Starting lineups and opening tip when we return. Fourth game of a 5-game homestand for the Knicks. Thus far, 1-2 on the homestand. And we remind you, closed captioning brought to you by New York Marriott Marquis, Broadway's biggest hit. Let's get our starting lineups from public address announcer Mike Wilczewski.
Phil Hubbard, Stan Albeck, and Dick Helm. The athletic trainer is Chris Tucker. Now for the Hawks starting lineup. At guard at 6'3" from Washington, number 3, Eldridge Rick Hasner. At guard at 6'8" from Michigan State, number 8, Steve Smith. At forward at 6'6" from DePaul, number 33, Tyrone Corbin. At forward at 6'9" from Indiana, number 44, Alan Henderson. And at center at 7'2" from Georgetown, number 55, Dikembe Mutombo. Mookie Blaylock and Chucky Brown are injured and will not play. For your New York Knicks, the coaches are Jeff Van Gundy, Don Shady, Brendan Malone, Tom Thibodeau, Jeff Nix, and Greg Brittenham. The athletic trainers are Mike Saunders and Saeed Hamdan.
Number 3, John Starks. At guard at 6'2" from Florida State, number 21, Charlie Ward. At forward at 6'7" from the UNLV, number 2, co-captain Larry Johnson. At forward at 6'6" from Tennessee, number 20, Alan Houston. And at center at 6'9" from Virginia Union, number 34, co-captain Charles Hoopley.
Knicks trying to bounce back from another difficult defeat last night. As Jeff Van Gundy said constantly, the Knicks had their opportunities. Allen Houston missing a 3 down the stretch. They did an excellent job defensively on Houston. Played 46 minutes, 7 of 26 from the field. Question was asked to Van Gundy, are the Knicks now relying on Houston scoring a little too much? He addressed that earlier tonight.
No, it's funny, though. Everybody wanted him to shoot. Now he's shooting. Now people want other people to shoot. It's sort of funny. But we always felt we were better off when we go inside out, be it through the drive or through the posting of Larry. And Portland's size, as Atlanta's size, it gives us problems getting off shots inside. And Allen got some quality looks, and he didn't make yesterday. And when him and John don't make, we lose. And I was surprised we had a chance to win against a quality team like Portland. You know, with those two guys combined and shoot for 11 for 39, and we had that open 3, that could have been a miracle for us, and it just wasn't answered yesterday.
Knicks will certainly need better shooting tonight. And as we told you, John Starks will make his first start of the season. Last year, Starks only started 1 game in winning the NBA Six-Man Award. 2 years ago, he was a full-time starter, 71 starts. He's enjoyed coming off the bench, but the Knicks need him in the starting role. And also, as mentioned, Chris Mills, who has missed the last 2.5 games with the bone bruise in his right foot. He is dressed and can play tonight, as is Chris Childs, who returned last night, and Brooks Thompson, who was available to play last night, but Van Gundy decided not to use him, so Knicks getting at least a little bit healthier.
One thing that should change for the Knicks tonight, Mike, is shot attempts by Larry Johnson, who took 6 of the team's 78 shots in 40 minutes of play last night. So he's got to get that ball a little more.
There's our official, Bennett Salvatore, one of the very best in the NBA, along with Tom Washington and Rodney Mott. And Johnson, only 2 shots in the second half was a problem, although the big front line for Portland, a big reason for that. That's Alan Henderson. Eldridge Rick Hasner. And Rick Hasner is an excellent shooter. He's filling in for Mookie Blaylock, who has anemia. Well, Blaylock had tests today, and everything came back negative. Hawks hope he can play on Sunday. Rick Hasner, a very good offensive player, not the defender that Blaylock is.
Only his 11th start of the season.
On Sunday, Rick Hasner, a very good offensive player, not the defender that Blaylock is.
Only his 11th start of the season.
Houston knocked out of bounds. Still Nick ball, 9 on the shot clock.
Very hard to replace a man who leads the league in steals, as Blaylock does, and also 13th in assists. So he's a very complete player, and that doesn't talk about his defense, as Allen Houston opens things up for the Knicks.
Houston hitting his first shot of the night. Knicks again shooting poorly last night. 38% from the field against Portland. They've been under 40% far too often. Smith against Starks, looking to post up. Starks played him well. Smith puts it in, out of bounds. Starks was all over him, then bumped him in the last minute. Smith with a chance for a three-point play.
Well, this opening shot by Smith takes us back to January 13th here at Madison Square Garden, when Steve Smith hit his season high of 35 points with a remarkable shooting performance. John Starks also hit his season high with a just about equally remarkable performance with 34. Matched up because of the height difference. Smith has a plus 5 inches, so it's a little easier for him to get that shot up.
That was a real shootout, that game here at the Garden. Starks also played very well. He had 20 in the first game against the Hawks in Atlanta, so he's had 2 very strong games. Backs up for 3. Won't go, but Tumbo lost it. Johnson blocked. Knicks jumping up for a goaltend. Starks, a quick jumper, knocks it down. And that looked like a goaltend to me. And Tumbo, speaking of leading the league, he's first in block shots. Henderson, stripped by Oakley. Henderson gets it back in a loose ball foul. That's why he got it back. Charles Oakley's defense forcing a turnover.
Henderson's play has kept Christian Laettner on the bench. He took over the starting job 16 games ago, now 17 games ago, and he's been playing terrific basketball. But they're rich having a guy like Laettner coming off the bench as well.
Both free agents for the Hawks. Henderson's perhaps the #1 candidate for most improved. Houston on a pull-up. Allen Houston. And the 2 guards, after struggling last night, off to solid starts tonight. Smith again forcing the jumper. Oakley boxing out Mutombo. That's a textbook way to box out what he just did there. Ward throws it ahead. Larry Johnson underneath. Excellent vision from Charlie Ward. The Knicks have their first lead. Ward already with 3 assists. Knicks on a 6-0 run.
Larry Johnson into his leg game, using those legs to beat the opponents down court.
Oakley again defending. What he's done in the past several weeks, guarding all these 7-footers and playing center, as Mutombo draws the foul and puts it in. Oakley confused, but it's not against him, it's against Allen Houston. But you have to admire how tough Oakley has played. There's no question he's a power forward. He's 6'9", and the week he's had against the Gauskas, Smiths, Sabonis, and now Mutombo is pretty incredible.
See, this says something about Mutombo's mental attitude for tonight. He doesn't usually think scoring. He's a rebounder, defensive player, but he's thinking scoring when you see him persist in that movement to the basket. Now, last time these 2 teams played in New York, Mutombo was a non-factor in the game, because in the first quarter he took a shot in the lip and had 8 stitches in his lip, and as a result only played 14 minutes in the game, did not score, did not rebound.
Ward slips, tries to get it ahead, but Rakazza right there, and Allen Houston stops him. Smart play from Allen Houston, preventing an easy fast break. Unfortunately for Houston, picks up his 2nd foul. Lenny Wilkins and Bennett Salvatore enjoying the early going.
It's unusual to see Lenny crack a smile during the game. The 2 veterans respecting each other's turf.
Houston will sit down with the 2 fouls. Chris Mills comes in. Mills has missed the last 2.5 games.
See, now this possibly says that's the end of Allen Houston until the 2nd quarter. So we have 9 minutes to go in the 1st quarter. Knicks need someone to step up and fill those shoes if possible.
Henderson against Johnson. Working hard, won't go, starts the rebound. Knick guards have to help out on the board, something Jeff Van Gundy felt they did not do last night. Mills wide open, passes it up, gets another opportunity, and hits it. And played a couple of games, but hits his first shot, and the Knicks lead at 10-9. Mutombo calling for the ball. Knicks whistled for an illegal defense. They're first, so just a warning. Hawks come in winning 3 in a row. Jeff Van Gundy knows they've played well, and they've won 7 of their last 8, but the competition, John, has not been all that strong.
Yes, we were looking at that before the game. In those 7 wins, 6 of the teams have deep losing records. The only they just had 1 win against, happened to be against Cleveland, what would be called a quality win in those 8 games.
Hopefully called for the foul before the shot. That's his first. Knicks already with 4 team fouls.
Kind of takes the starch out of the impression of a team winning so much when you examine exactly who they've been playing.
Schedule is such a big part of it as Ricasner knocks it down. As mentioned, Ricasner, he does not hesitate to shoot. He's a good offensive player. Starks against Smith. Starks, the pass to Larry Johnson. Mutombo's presence alters Johnson's thinking, and a technical foul has been called against Mutombo.
Mutombo is broken up with laughter.
Wonder if it's a taunting technical. Of course, that finger wagging has been part of Mutombo's repertoire. He wants to get an explanation from Bennett Salvatore, and he just agreed. And I think it is taunting. You see, come on, come at me, come at me. And that's taunting technical. You know, I like to see that call. That's the type of stuff that gets players upset. And it starts guys getting their blood boiling and can have problems. Now, what he's doing here, that's to the crowd. That's not at a player. That's allowed.
Well, people were yelling it out. That's become his symbol of his defensive excellence, which Patrick Ewing is amused by. They are very close. Ewing was in the Hawks locker room before the game quite a while, visiting with his pal.
Charlie Ward with his first shot off the mark. Rebound. Mutombo can't handle it. Knicks will get it back. But again, as to finish the point, they were, you know, you get upset early in the game. All of a sudden, there's an extra elbow here, an extra elbow there. Before you know it, guys are squaring off. And Bennett Salvatore nipping that in the bud early. Game tied at 11. Johnson against Henderson.
Well, he's got more than half the court to work with until he gets near the basket. Then the defenders come over to help out.
Charlie Ward, the penetration, and the runner. Nice use of the glass from Charlie Ward. The Knicks lead by 2. All 5 starters, plus Mills, who's come into the game, have scored for the Knicks. Ty Corbin, the veteran, to Henderson. Henderson playing with a lot of confidence. Starks the deflection, but the roll goes right back to Henderson. Hawks get a break there. Starks, 1 dribble, quick fire. It's good. A 2-pointer.
A lot of confidence from John Starks. He knows if he misses a shot like that before they even get over half court, he's in trouble, so to speak, with the crowd.
He has played well, though, against Atlanta both games. And a foul before the shot. Chris Mills will be called for his first. And the Knicks now over the limit. 6:48 remaining in the first. Knicks shooting 70% from the field.
I'm going to try to come and try to challenging him at my best today. And don't try to let myself discourage by a lot of things that he'd like to do on me. And that's what I'm looking for. And I know that they like the shoving, throwing her ball and push you around and don't let you get the easy basket. But I'm going to try and come out play like in the same intensity that I played with yesterday and don't let nothing discourage me.
Any finger waving from you in his direction possibly tonight?
Oh, yeah. You don't, you don't have to forget about that. Definitely when it will be a block, there will be a finger wave.
And a technical, although he didn't get the technical for finger waving, more of, come on, let's go, but he did receive a taunting technical earlier.
Well, Dikembe better remember, because 1 more technical, and he's in the locker room early again.
2 technicals for a player means automatic ejection, although official can toss it. He didn't get the technical for finger waving, more of, come on, let's go, but he did receive a taunting technical earlier.
Well, Dikembe better remember, because 1 more technical, and he's in the locker room early again.
2 technicals for a player means automatic ejection, although official can toss a player on the first technical if it's deemed really out of line, extreme unsportsmanlike,
or very bad play.
I suppose.
Get out of here, you bum. You stink tonight.
Smith hits 2 free throws. Game tied at 15. A lot of scoring early. Knicks 7 of 10 from the field. Hawks 5 of 7. Johnson taking it to Allen Anderson. Mills wide open for 3. Air ball. Starks right there. Tries to handle it. 4 on the shot clock. It's good. You get the feeling John Starks has the feeling tonight.
Well, what a tribute to his hustle. He just kept moving, and he got lucky because he kept moving. The ball came to him.
And Oakley called for another foul. In his post defense, Mutombo, Jeff Van Gundy's all the way to center court arguing the call. Knicks over the limits, and Mutombo will shoot.
Very tough job for Charles Oakley tonight. And really, it all depends on the Hawks' decision to keep going to Mutombo. I mean, the guy is so big, 7'2". He plants himself down low, and Charles' style, being as aggressive as it is, will get him in trouble.
So Oakley's 2 fouls will go to the bench. Terry Cummings will come in. Mutombo hits the first. Cummings has played well recently. Actually played well since he's been acquired.
See, the Knicks have to, excuse me, Mike, have to think in terms now of they got 18 fouls to use on Mutombo. Oakley, and you can see Mutombo's position now as the shot block leader in the NBA. Very important statistic and very much a part and a reason for their solid team defense.
Full court pressure here from the Hawks. Charlie Ward against McCasner. Starks makes his move on Smith, but he's fouled on the pass. Only the second team foul on Atlanta. First on Smith, so the Knicks will take it out of bounds.
We started to say, though, the Knicks have 18 fouls to use on Mutombo. You got Oakley, you got Herb Williams, and you've got, of course, Terry Cummings, who just came into the game. So Jeff Van Gundy's just going to have to rotate his guys accordingly.
Ward again penetrates down a lane. Had no one to throw to. Fortunate for Charlie Ward, Ty Corbin deflects it out of bounds with 17 on the shot clock. Ward wanted Cummings to go somewhere else. Game tied at 17, just past the midway point. Illegal defense called against the Hawks there first. Just a warning. The shooting has been incredible. Knicks 8 of 12. Buddy Wilkins Hawks 5 of 7. Hawks don't have a rebound yet, but there haven't been a lot of opportunities when you put the ball in the basket so much.
Tyrone Corbin, who's been a very important offensive member of this team lately, also hasn't taken a shot yet.
Starks and Smith. Cummings and Mutombo. Cummings starting to get some offensive confidence. You can see it in the last several games. Much more aggressive. Shot clock down to 7. Starks fires a 3. That is not a good shot. Ball hits the front of the rim. Cummings the rebound. They did not reset the shot clock, but they should have because it grazed the rim.
John really didn't get a look at the basket, only because he's so familiar with the surroundings. Did it come that close to the basket? But he fired that shot and took a glance as he was already up in the air.
Plus you had 6'8" Steve Smith contesting it very well. Shot clock put up to 21. Starks to Cummings. Cummings makes his move and the pull-up. Terry Cummings puts the Knicks up by 2 with his first field goal. 7 Knicks have already scored.
Solid move for Cummings, who can shoot off the dribble. Big men don't do that automatically.
Knicks now have Mills on Smith. Starks has been switched to Corbin. Smith shooting over Mills, forcing it a bit. Charlie Ward, the rebound in traffic. Knicks look to push. They get a 4-on-2. Ward to Larry Johnson. Those two work very well on the break. And the Knicks have a 4-point lead.
When Smith was lighting it up, Smith, who has the ball down low and works inside, big enough to tip in his own miss as well with some Knicks around him. But when he was tearing it up in their first meeting here late in the game, the Knicks made an adjustment, put Mills on him, and Mills did a good job. The Knicks have gone to Mills early on Steve Smith now.
Knicks moving the ball. Ward the penetration. Finds the open Terry Cummings, who knocks it down again. Charlie Ward really distributing well. He's got 6 assists. And we haven't even played 8 minutes.
Interesting. Right early in this game now, the Knicks are establishing that they can hurt the bigger Hawks inside. And it was a very doubtful situation to think about coming into this game.
Ricander fires away. Both teams continue their incredible shooting. As the Knicks lead is 2 with just under 4 minutes remaining. Starks has Corbin on him. Chris Mills trying to call for the ball against Smith. Shot clock is down to 4. Charlie Ward makes his move. The runner tries the bank and won't go. Corbin the rebound. Hawks come the other way. Hawks not looking to break as much without Mookie Blaylock. Corbin steps up for 3. Ty Corbin from downtown. He's averaging a double figures this year at 10 per game. And as John mentioned earlier, has been shooting from three-point range very well.
Over the last 4 games now, well, he was 11 out of 21 from three-point range coming in tonight. He's really found that shot.
Cummings again left open. This one won't go down. Corbin the rebound. It's trailing by 1. 3 minutes remaining in the first. Just joining us, John Starks getting his first start of the season. Alan Houston started at small forward but picked up 2 quick fouls. Knicks trying to poke it away from Henderson. Do it a couple of times. I believe we're going to have a foul call. Either way, there's a timeout. Terry Cummings called for the foul. More free throws for the Hawks. Knicks down 1 with 2:46 left. Good friends, drink responsibly because friends know when to say when. A reminder from your friends at Budweiser. I hope that's a play phone. Please tell me that's a play phone.
Oh, a toy. That must be a toy.
It's got to be. I don't want to think it's anything else.
Mike, it isn't a toy.
Coming up, MSG's coverage of Yankee spring training. Yanks and Royals Saturday afternoon at 1. And then on Sunday, it's the Yankees and Rangers from Legends Field, also 1 o'clock on MSG. And then, of course, on April 1st, the 1998 Major League Baseball season begins. Yanks visit the Anaheim Angels, all coming up on the MSG Network. Please check your local listings. Here in New York, Knicks trailing by 1, 2:46 remaining in the first. Steve Smith already with 7 points. Knicks have been over the limit foul-wise for quite some time. Henderson now will go as Cummings picked up his first. Smith is one of those guys that has fun out there, and I wouldn't say he taunts. He does do a lot of talking to his opponents. Henderson is the first. But he's actually one of the more intelligent players in the league, a very charitable guy. Of course, donated several $1 million to Michigan State a couple of years back.
To be specific, after signing a 7-year, $50 million deal, he donated $2.5 million to the university. The end result was the Clara Bell Smith Student Athlete Academic Center, which is scheduled to open this year. And that was named after his mom, who had passed away. He said, much better than buying my mom a house or a car, naturally, when she was living. That's the way to keep her memory fresh in his mind.
He's one of the, as mentioned, one of the fun guys to talk to in the league. As Terry Cummings hits another one. Cummings 3 for 4. Knicks trailing by 1, just under 2.5. Henderson with 7 on the shot clock. Smith will certainly take this three-pointer. Mutombo, the offensive rebound, stripped down low. Chris Mills with the good hands. Alan Houston back in the game, finding it open. Chris Mills, and the Knicks back up by 1. Tell you what, Terry Cummings, he was no spring chicken. Cummings at 37 years old, he made that play by pushing it up the floor.
Nicely done, and also the scoring mentality of Alan Houston also has that sacrificing way of thinking as well, a demonstration with that nice pass-off.
Mutombo against Cummings. Cummings talking to Mutombo as he goes across the lane, and then pushes him, and there's going to be a technical foul on Cummings. And pushes him, and there's going to be a technical foul on Cummings. Cummings was mad at something prior to that. He picks up the technical, in addition to the personal foul. By the way Cummings is reacting, John, it's evident that he felt Mutombo did something to him first.
Well, it seems that he certainly lost his cool, and he's explaining it now to the official.
He's talking right before that. He was talking to him as Mutombo made his move. Mutombo getting a little dramatic there. Well, yeah, watch him talk now. Right there, he starts talking to him.
Well, all I'm seeing is Cummings pushing him around. And then Cummings loses his cool. The temptation with a guy like Mutombo is to beat up on him because he's so tall and skinny. And from the experience I've seen with other than Patrick, the Knicks have been very physical with him. So he takes a pretty good beating when he plays against the Knicks.
You wonder what happened maybe down the other end of the floor. Again, it didn't appear Mutombo did anything right here.
Well, this means he's being pushed there from behind. He starts his move, and then Cummings knocks him down.
Cummings is not the type of player who gets involved in those type of things on a regular basis by any means.
But he's very physical.
Right, absolutely. And as is Mutombo with his elbows. But Cummings, you've got to think of a better way to respond than to push the guy with the whistle blown and everybody looking at the two of you. Mutombo hits the first of two. And as we've seen with so many Knicks games here at home, John, how many games have come down a difference 1 or 2 points? 1 or 2 technical free throws is the difference between a win and a loss.
No question. And Terry obviously feels that the official missed an elbow that came in his direction as he kept talking to the official about it.
Hawks have taken 11 free throws in the first quarter. They've hit all 11. Childs misses. Mutombo controls the rebound. Knicks, meanwhile, have only taken 1. Knicks have certainly had that problem in recent weeks quite a bit. Henderson won't go. Mills lost it, picked up by Childs. Remember, the Knicks 1 technical free throw, or 1 free throw was from a technical foul. Johnson down low. Quick release, gets it, and immediately lets go before the defenders can collapse.
Boy, Johnson is having the effect of a 7-footer himself on the Hawks as he gets his low position.
He's got 6 on 3 of 4 from the field.
You know, the Hawks should go back to Mutombo. But they go away from him to Smith. Before that, they went to Henderson after that last incident.
Smith again forcing the shot. Johnson the rebound. Smith is just 2 of 7 from the field. But he gets to the line where he's hit all 4. Game tied with just under a half-minute remaining in the first. That's Chris Crawford guarding Houston. Crawford just coming in. Houston has to alter the shot. Good defense. Cummings tip won't go. Mills right there. Couple of fakes. Banks it in right at Mutombo.
Very deceptive delivery by Chris Mills. He beat Mutombo.
Shot clock is turned off. Knicks with a 2-point lead. Mutombo calling for the ball. Cummings trying to front him. There's some contact, but Mutombo dumps it in. Mills wanted a charge, won't get it. 2.9 remaining. Childs, it'll count if it goes. Well short. And that will end the first quarter. Some superb shooting from both teams. The Knicks shooting 58% from the field as they get balanced scoring. The Hawks 56%, a perfect from the free throw line. Game tied at 31 after 1. Quarter is set to begin. Knicks and Hawks tied at 31. Early time for our Coke Classic play of the day, John.
Let's take it back to January 13th. Eldridge Rakasner in one of his 11 starts with a 360 midair. Wow, a rare sight. Guy does a complete turnaround on that jump shot and makes it. He beat the 24-second clock with that 360. He loved it. He was filling in for the missing Mookie Blaylock also that night. He and Steve Smith combined for 56 points, the starting backcourt against the Knicks that evening.
Don Andres once performed a 360 at Fordham. It was in traction for 6 months following. As Houston misfires, Cummings keeps it alive. Terry Cummings very active. Cummings hard to the basket, blocked by Leitner. Still the ball 19 on the shot clock. Leitner now coming off the bench. He missed several games earlier this year with the flu. Henderson came in and played so well, Lenny Wilkins decided to keep Henderson in the starting lineup.
Well, also what was left unsaid was that Leitner was not playing that well. Nice pass inside, Oakley to Terry Cummings, who thanks him. He wasn't playing that well, and Leitner had lost some of the spark he had early in the season, and Henderson came in and really was just unyielding in the position of starter.
Smith misses Oakley right there with a rebound. Houston, stunner move. Knicks good ball movement. Starks, three-pointer. John Starks from downtown. And the Knicks have their largest lead in the first half, a 5-point advantage.
No sign of fatigue for the Knicks during this very busy week in the second game, once again, of a back-to-back matchup.
Childs called for a hold. First team foul, first on Childs. Childs claiming he was held prior.
Allen Houston a moment ago rushing the ball up court, stopped Oakley unselfishly, giving it up to Starks, who's doing what Jeff Van Gundy hoped he would do tonight.
Oakley back-to-back assists. Knicks is a team already with 13 assists and 17 field goals made. Leitner hesitated. That normally throws you off, although Henderson there for the rebound. Steve Smith wants the ball posting up against Childs. Henderson takes it himself. Ball knocked away, but a foul. Charles Oakley picks up number 3. So Oakley is going to have to sit down for a while. Jeff Van Gundy quickly to the bench. Herb Williams will get his first appearance tonight. Crowd, as always, enjoying Herb. 12 minutes last night against the Blazers.
Alan Henderson doing so well this year. When you look at his background, graduated from college at Indiana in 1995 with a BS in biology, and he's already been accepted to medical school, where he intends to go when his career is over. His dad, Ray, is a cardiologist.
He certainly does. You talk to the coaching staff of the Hawks, and he brings so much energy. He's a hard worker in practice. They love his attitude. They've got to make a decision to either re-sign Leitner or Henderson at that forward spot. They said they could not sign both. They publicly got on record with that. And right now it looks like Henderson's going to be their guy. Houston pulls up. Long gets his own rebound. Cummings takes it away from him. Perry Cummings all over the place. He leads the Knicks with 8 points and leads the Knicks with 4 rebounds.
I think they may like Henderson more than Leitner. Leitner would also bring them a lot should they.
Starks called for travel.
Should they have chosen, would have brought a lot to make a trade before the deadline.
Well, Leitner was rumored to be going. By the way, Starks, I stand corrected, he leads the Knicks with 9. But Cummings right behind with 8. Crowd booing Mutombo as he comes ready to go back in the game. Leitner, hard drive, misses the jam, but a foul. So Leitner will shoot 2. Herb Williams ball for the Valley's first. Right now, let's go to the MSG Sports Desk and Deb Compton.
Mike and John, the Nets and Pacers are at halftime. Down 5, Kendall Gill makes sure the Nets go into the locker room down only 3. Keith Van Horn leads New Jersey with 9 points, but the Pacers lead the game 43-40.
Thank you, Deb. Of course, that's one of the games the Knicks concerned with, more on the New Jersey side, one of the teams behind them in the fight for the playoffs. As Leitner goes 1 of 2, makes the first, this is the second. Knicks come the other way, leading by 3, just over 2 minutes gone by in the second. Along with John Andres, Mike Green on hand. John Starks kicks it out. Houston wide open for 3. That's good. Allen Houston knocks down a 3, and the Knicks with a 6-point lead.
Hawks totally forgot about Allen Houston, who was just waiting in the corner all alone.
Nick Guard's doing an excellent job tonight of penetrating and then kicking it out for an open shot. Leitner down the lane. Crowd wanted to walk. Leitner made a nice move.
Leitner at 6'11", when he stops to shoot the jumper, not too many people are going to be at his eye level.
Steve Smith getting a little excited. He felt his deflection was last touched by Childs. Knicks will take it out. Smith has something to say to Childs. Smith will now sit down as one of the Barrys coming in now. Drew Barry, the rookie from Georgia Tech. Starks leans in. Pass too hard for Cummings. And a backcourt violation, went out of bounds anyway, so Hawks will take over. Starks off to a good start. 4 of 6 from the field, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 9 total points. There's Barry to Leitner. Barry, one of 3 brothers in the league. Leitner drives underneath, blocked from behind by Cummings. Outlet nearly stolen by Barry. Childs tries to push it up. Feed down low to Cummings. Cummings reverse side. Childs looked like he may have hurt the ankle on that last play. Wincing a little bit.
If he heard it, he doesn't want to admit it or know it himself. So desirous of playing and getting back into stride.
Knicks called for another illegal defense. Their second, so a technical foul.
all this illegal defensive calls, they are based on help defense. There's a look at Knicks moving inside, and Terry Cummings just takes the room given to him.
You see the wince. Anyone who's ever played basketball and had a sprained ankle, it's something that's going to stay with you for a long time. Another foul called on Childs. Looks a little frustrated on the close whistles, but the officials right from the start have been calling it very tightly. And that one free throw by the Knicks, once again, was a technical free throw.
Childs admitted himself the other day, 2 days ago, that it's very difficult for him to play defense. He kind of came back ahead of schedule. I mean, it appeared based on what we heard that he wasn't quite ready, but bang, all of a sudden he came in and played the other day. And the defensive area against quick guys is going to really be difficult for him, and that's Leitner rolling into success.
Chris Crawford actually with the 2 points. As Houston has fouled on the pass-off. Knicks leading by 3. Crawford picks up the first foul. Crawford actually does look like Leitner.
I picked it up off the monitor there, and there was such a resemblance. I didn't realize he was that tall.
Crawford, the rookie out of Marquette, he's 6'9", 235. Cummings gets Leitner up in the air. Tough fall-away shot for Cummings, won't go. The tumble falls down the rebound. Knicks with a 3-point lead. A fan right behind us asking Bennett Salvatore, can we get one foul call tonight? Ball deflected off Crawford. Good defense from Allen Houston. In terms of total fouls, Knicks have 12, Hawks 3.
How about foul shooting? The Hawks 14 of 16 from the line. The Knicks 1 of 1.
Childs sets. That's a 2. Who's on the line? Although I don't buy that argument. If the coach is upset, says, all right, hey, they shot 20 more foul shots than that. There's usually a reason, as in one team being much more aggressive. It can happen, and it has nothing to do with the game being called one way or another. Leitner, the runner, blocking foul on Herb Williams. Second foul on Herb Williams. And Leitner will go to the line. And there's free throw attempts per game. Dallas has the lowest, only 21 free throw attempts per game on an average. And the Knicks, second lowest in the league at 23.
Phoenix, one of the better teams in the league, also up there and being down, so to speak. But it's not a happy statistic for any coach, because getting to the foul line a lot puts the other team in trouble, and it gives you, let's face it, it gives you your players opportunities to score without a hand in their face. Standing at that foul line, it's a free throw line.
The Knicks will call timeout. Leitner hits both. There you see the fouls called again. The Hawks perhaps a little more aggressive. 43-40. Knicks lead by 3. Almost 5 minutes gone by in the second. Knicks leading the Hawks 43-40.
And now here's a look at the New York Marriott Marquis Sky Cam. Knicks good ball movement. This is why coaches like guards who penetrate. They draw the defenders, and that leaves somebody open. Nice if it's your best outside shooter, too. That's Allen Houston. The New York Marriott Marquis, Broadway's biggest hit.
Knicks inbound, leading by 3. Houston with Crawford on him. And Crawford at 6'9". Houston strip foot foul. And the second foul, team foul that is. And they're not only, you see, the Knicks second lowest at only 23 per game. To give you an idea, the most free throws attempt, 33.9 the Lakers. So that's obviously 10 more free throw attempts per game, the Lakers over the Knicks. So that makes a huge difference, especially because you look at the Knicks and their free throw shooting, John. They're close to 77% for a team. That's an excellent number for a team.
And particularly Allen Houston, who's such an important scorer for the Knicks. He leads the team in free throw attempts, and he's their best shooter at 86%. He averages, however, 4 a game. Not bad, but considering his offensive importance, it would be a goal for him to get that up to, say, 6 a game. It would be unrealistic, and I'm sure that's what he's striving for, to get to the line a little bit more.
Barry trying to get it to the tumble. Herb Williams fronting him and doing an excellent job. Shot clock at 5. Leitner rifles it to Crawford, flips it up there quickly, and Herb Williams the rebound. Bad outlet. Barry nearly deflects it, and it's going to be last touched by, they say, the Hawks. And the Knicks will get the ball. Lenny Wilkins not happy with the call. It appeared Herb Williams knocked it out. Knicks leading by 5. Of course, Lenny Wilkins, the all-time winningest coach in NBA history.
The thing about Lenny, when he makes a fuss, only a couple of people know about it. Unlike a lot of coaches, when the whole arena knows about it.
Barry blocks Houston, but is called for the foul. And Allen Houston will shoot 2, much to the dismay of Drew Barry. Barry, as we mentioned, his other 2 brothers also playing in the NBA at this point. Of course, Brent Barry just traded from the LA Clippers to Miami. And the other one playing for the LA Lakers right now. So that's only the 2nd time in NBA history that a trio of brothers have played.
Yes, John Barry doesn't get much time with the Shaquille O'Neal-led Lakers, but I'm sure he's delighted to be part of that franchise. Lakers are playing good ball these days. They've won 6 in a row.
Very difficult to remember such a tough name like John. So what, Barry? I couldn't remember his first name. Of course, the other brothers that did it was the Jones brothers, Charles, Caldwell, and Major, all played at the same time. They had another brother, Will, but he didn't play at the same time as the other 3. Herb Williams gets the weak side rebound. Knicks leading by 7. This is their largest lead of the game. Just past the midway point of the 2nd. Larry Johnson, one-on-one with Leitner. Leitner not getting any help. Johnson goes the other way. This is the shot that draws the foul. Johnson will shoot 2 as Christian Leitner picks up his first.
I can't help but share a story with you, Mike, of years ago. You brought up John Barry and how difficult it is to remember. I was walking along the street with my mother several years ago, and I was quite young, as you'll gather when I tell you the story, and I told her, I really like my name, John. And she asked why. I said, because it's so uncommon. I swear to you, I said that.
You're a foolish young lad.
She laughed at me.
Do you think she was worried about her son then?
I don't know, but she got a laugh.
Went back and said, what's wrong with this kid? Johnson's second one is waved off. And he's going to shoot it again. Perhaps a double violation. Yep, double lane violation. That's the call. Johnson hits it anyway. Larry Johnson, 8 points. Knicks leading by 9. The 6-0 run has given them their largest lead. There, the rebounding numbers, surprising. Again, a lot has to do with the fact that the Knicks are shooting so well, 59% from the field. Not as many opportunities. Another steal. Herb Williams, the defense on Mutombo. Starks, pass deflected out of bounds. It's still going to be Nick Ball. Mutombo started off very well. Knicks now starting to get a little bit of a feel on how to play him in the post.
Well, the Hawks, however, do not go to him continually. They kind of tune in and tune out of Mutombo as an offensive player.
There you see the offensive rebound. Starks. Childs right there to pick up the errant pass. Allen Houston makes his drive. The runner in the lane. Knicks now with an 11-point lead. 8-0 run as they continue to add to their largest lead. And Lenny Wilkins wants to talk it over. 8 straight points. Knicks on an 8-0 run. Capped off by this play here.
Allen Houston drives the middle, and Mutombo, I think he might be showing some fatigue, although and I asked him before the game how he feels about back-to-backs. He said, well, he's used to it at this time of season, but you like to see his hands up if you're Lenny Wilkins when moves like that come his way.
Leitner down the lane, left-handed, and a foul. Terrific play. In midair, he switched hands, and he's got a chance for a three-point play. You know, you mentioned back-to-back Larry Johnson with his first foul.
Leitner at 6'11", above the crowd on that move. A man creating his own shot. Not everybody can make their, or I should say, create their own shots. That's a description often applied to players. Can they or can't they? And Leitner proved at 6'11", even way outside, he can get to the basket himself.
And again, changed hands while he was up in the air. Nick lead cut to 8. Leitner, 9 points off the bench. Knicks of course, back-to-back. They lost last night to Portland. Hawks played last night at home, beating the Milwaukee Bucks in a very tight contest. Herb Williams, a turnaround shot, and the crowd erupted once again. Herb Williams, 2 points, 3 rebounds, in 6 minutes of play.
What made that move outstanding was the speed with which it was executed by Herb.
Knicks are shooting 61% from the field as Childs harasses Ricasner. They try and lob it into Henderson. Knicks try to poke it away. Henderson puts it in and is fouled. Good second effort from Alan Henderson. Herb Williams picks up his 3rd. So now Oakley has 3, and Herb Williams with 3.
Well, Leighton is seeing Henderson with the advantage of the inside position. Starks comes over to help. Henderson makes a nice finish, though. He works hard to get up around the rim and finish that play.
You see, since he became the starter for Christian Laettner, can't take him out for those kind of numbers. And Laettner coming off the bench. Herb Williams will chat with the official as he walks off with a solid 7 minutes of play for Herb Williams.
Well, that move has made the Hawks much better. They haven't had that kind of quality coming off the bench over the recent times as they do now with Laettner coming off the bench. And it coincided with Henderson getting healthy as well. Last year he was out a lot.
Full court pressure once again. It's not as effective without Mookie Blaylock. Without Mookie, the Knicks shooting 61% from the field. Blaylock, if you ask the coaching staff, they miss some more defensively than on the offensive end. Houston drives hard to the basket, gets his own rebound, misses the foul, tip ball knocked loose. Starks had it, lost it, ball kicked around, and somebody kicked it. They're going to reset the 24 and give it to the Knicks. Looks like Ty Corbin was the one to kick it. Alan Houston with a good second effort there.
You mentioned Blaylock and his meaning to this team, to the Hawks. He is such an excellent defender that I think he, in many ways, is the heart of the team because he sets a tone of defensive commitment out high as the guard. And when he's not there, the team just isn't as good.
Starks too hard off the glass. Larry Johnson right there. The second effort again. Larry Johnson tipping it in. The Knicks back up by 9. 10 points for Johnson.
See, he takes up such space with his strength and width. But he's able to get those tip-ins. Even bigger guys can't reach around him that easily.
Henderson again calling for the ball. Got the height advantage on Johnson. They go right back 4 on the shot clock. Henderson lost the dribble. Shot clock at 1. Gets it off in time. Fight for the rebound. Alan Houston. Good boxing out, or I should say Chris Mills. Childs brings it up the other way. Johnson across the lane. The sweeping hook shot. And the Knicks lead in 57-46, 12 now for Larry Johnson. And Lenny Wilkins wants a 20-second timeout. Knicks with an excellent ball movement tonight. Childs and Johnson working that time. And it's evidenced by the 57% shooting. And the Knicks with 17 assists here in the first half.
Well, you know, when the Knicks guards have the ball and they're coming up court, chances are Larry Johnson's in front of him. And Childs saw Johnson in good position, got him the ball low, and the defense just wasn't ready for him.
Well, we've got a moment. Tell you about the plenty of action coming up for you. Starting tomorrow, Devils and the Capitals, 7:30 Fox Sports New York. Then on Sunday, Nets and the Wizards, 3:30 start on Fox Sports New York. Later at 8, Islanders in Edmonton. Showdown with the Oilers on MSG at 8. Gretzky and the Rangers battle their conference rivals, the Flyers. And the Knicks return to the MSG Network Tuesday with the Golden State Warriors at 10:30 tip-off. All coming up on MSG and Fox Sports New York. Check your local listings. Larry Johnson enjoying things right now. 10 points, 4 rebounds. Check that, 12 points. And 5 boards. Ricasner feeds Henderson. Blocked the foul. Alan Houston picks up his 3rd. Houston had 2 quick fouls, had to sit down. Then he came back in and got hot. He's got 13 points. Houston now will sit down with the 3 fouls. Charlie Ward back in.
Well, you've got to believe that Lenny Wilkins isn't happy with his team's defense, with the Knicks knocking on 60 points for a half.
And two of the premier defenders not on the floor. Blaylock out with the anemia, and Mutombo now resting. 1 of 2 from the line. 10-point lead for the Knicks. 2.5 remaining in the second. Very strong quarter for the Knicks. Ward looking for Johnson. Knicks want to get Larry Johnson his shots. Drives across the runner. It's good. Larry Johnson. Very aggressive to the basket. Largest lead here in the first half. Rick Kasner on the pull-up. Boy, he is a good shooter. Kasner 4 of 5.
Larry Johnson already has 8 shot attempts while making 6 here in the first half.
He's got 14 to lead the Knicks. Shot clock down to 7. Johnson the pass to Childs. Right back to Johnson. He's fouled and one. Chance for a three-point play. Chris Childs sets up Johnson beautifully.
What a beautiful play. That's the kind of basketball that fans love to see. The exchange between players, the unselfishness, the guys working together. Nice handoff, and then hand back by Childs to Larry Johnson, who goes strong to the basket.
Johnson 10 of his 16 here in the second quarter. This is our AT&T Great Connection. The 18th assist by the Knicks.
You know what I want to point out too, Mike? Ball goes into the low post man, Larry Johnson, and he flips it to the cutter. When do you see that in basketball these days? You rarely see a big man just flip the ball to the cutter as the Knicks just did. It's such basic basketball.
It's very successful. Usually works. Knicks lead by 13. Smith against Childs. Smith has been sitting on the bench quite a bit in the second. And a foul before the shot. Childs called again. It's going to be his third.
Well, Childs took a beating on that play, too, as Smith used his elbows, his upper body, his height advantage. He's 6'8". There's another look at it now. He's waving his power at Childs. His back's up. Now watch when he goes into the move, how he uses his body. Just leaning in and making Childs back up.
He's so difficult to defend, whether you're 6'3" or 6'7", because he's got that three-point ability, plus can post up and take it to the hole off the dribble. Childs will sit down with the 3 fouls. Anthony Bowie comes in for the first time.
Amazing when you look night to night, game to game, day to day, Mike. Yesterday, the Knicks had 77 total points in the game. They're almost there now in a half.
It's hard to believe. They had 37 at halftime. They've got 62 right now, and we're not even at halftime. 62-51. Knicks leading by 11, just under a minute and a half remaining in the first. Starks around Mutombo, puts up the jumper, won't go. Corbin tips it a couple of times and able to secure it. Knicks with an 11-point lead, a minute remaining in the first half. Smith, the runner in the lane. Steve Smith now with 12 points in the game. Knicks are going to use their 22nd timeout, have not used it. You get one in each half, and it's not carried over, so if you haven't used it in the final minute, it's a good idea. Instead of letting it go to waste, so Jeff Van Gundy will have a chance to chat. And of course, coming up, the Tri-State Jeep and Eagle halftime report. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer. Deb Kaufman at the MSG Sports Desk for a complete update of what's going on in the world of sports, including NCAA action. Plus Phil Daughtry and Clyde with the highlights of the first half, and certainly plenty of them for the Knicks, who led by as many as 13. Currently lead by 9 with 50 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Good balanced scoring for the Knicks. Several players in double figures, 3. But John Starks right behind with 9. Starks. Mills makes his move to feed to Johnson. Quickly double feed. Knicks now trying to clear out Johnson from Mutombo. Johnson across the lane. Anthony Bowie spots up. It's good. And the Knicks with 60 They scored 63 against Washington, so they've for the new season high for points and a half. More importantly, they lead by 11. And a foul call on Larry Johnson.
Well, Larry Johnson treated Mutombo like a rag doll on that play, just threw him to the floor. Lenny Wilkins can't be happy with his team, but it might relate to fatigue, Mike. Played last night. They flew up here after the game, after the game against Milwaukee and Atlanta, got in about 1:30, and then they were practiced here this morning at 10 o'clock. They don't have, looks like they don't have the energy.
Certainly not the first half. That's been called a flagrant foul on Larry Johnson. Then it's Salvatore explaining Mutombo will get the 2 shots, plus the Hawks will get the ball. Crowd delights in Mutombo's miss, but they call it a flagrant foul.
Well, the feeling, I guess, is to push Mutombo around, but it's giving him time at the foul line.
Then it's Salvatore, very definitive, very authoritative in explaining his decision. Johnson will sit down. 2 fouls. Let's take a look at the right side of your screen. He just shoved him with a forearm.
Yes, Larry Johnson, very physical response to Mutombo.
That's the second Knick to get involved in a response to Mutombo. Recasner blocked by Herb Williams, tipped up. Corbin had it, lost it, picked up by Recasner. Pass, Starks deflected out of bounds. 7.3 remaining.
Mutombo pointing to his teammate Recasner, pointing up in the air. In other words, throw me a lob pass. I'm taller than the guys next to me.
Corbin along the baseline. Ty Corbin puts it in with 4.3 remaining. Knicks with plenty of time to get it up the floor, although the Hawks with full court pressure right now. They throw it ahead. Starks gets it. Starks feed. Herb Williams at the buzzer. Herb Williams caps off an exceptional first half for the Knicks. They score a season-high 66 points for a half. They lead the Hawks by 10. Let's look at it again.
Boy, did they look sharp on this play. Lead pass was perfect, and John Starks was perfect, and Herb Williams stayed right with the theme of being perfect at the end with that soft touch.
Knicks with 20 assists in the first half. Their season high for a game is 32. Strong first 2 quarters for the Knicks. They shoot just under 60% from the field. Halftime at the Garden. Knicks lead the Hawks by 10. We'll be back after this.
The half over Atlanta, both teams shooting over 50%. Should be an exciting second half. We turn it back over to Mike Green.
Phil, thank you very much. Knicks leading by 10 in a game that had 9 ties and 9 lead changes. This was the scene right after halftime. Steve Smith throwing the towel playfully at Chris Childs. Patrick Ewing wagging his finger at his good buddy Dikembe Mutombo as the teams have some fun with each other. And then Chris Childs and Stan Albeck, good buddies. Albeck, a former assistant coach with the New Jersey Nets, where, of course, Childs played.
That worked out well for Chris Childs, didn't it?
Some camaraderie at halftime in a game with a lot of intensity and a lot of physical play.
Well, Ewing and, of course, Mutombo, well-known friends, and Leitner and Ewing were Dream Team teammates, so there's a lot of good feeling there. Look at the shooting in the first half for both teams, but the Knicks even better. An amazing 60% from the field. What a reversal from last evening.
Well, the Knicks shot just 38%. Free throws, Hawks going to the line quite a bit. And the turnovers, very important for the Knicks. They only have 3 turnovers. Also out-rebounding the Hawks 23-9, including 12-4 on the offensive glass. And the bench doing an excellent job, including Terry Cummings, 10 points, 4 boards for Cummings.
How about fast break points in the first half? The Hawks 0, the Knicks 12.
And that's vital with the Knicks struggling at times in the half-court offense to get offense quickly like that to feed to Ward. Houston out to Starks, fakes the 3. Starks on the pull-up. Boy, would Jeff Van Gundy love to see more of that. Not just firing away at 3-point range, creating to get yourself a better shot. It's leading by 12. Largest lead in the first half was 13. Recasner to Henderson. Henderson on the leader. Allen Houston helping out on the boards. The guards trying to help in that department. Houston takes it down the lane. And Allen Houston gives the Knicks their largest lead of the game.
Lenny Wilkins must be sick. End to end.
know why the coaches said we miss Mookie Blaylock more defensively than on the offensive end.
He's the heart of the defense, sets the tone, but it's blatantly obvious. If anyone has seen, who might be listening, Blaylock play and the effect he has.
Kastner misses. Mutombo's tip won't go, and he gets tied up jump ball between Larry Johnson and Dikembe Mutombo. Jeff Van Gundy watching his team lead by 14, distributing the minutes tonight. Look at that, first half minutes. 9 players getting time, 7 of them in double figures in minutes. And also Anthony Bowie played a couple of minutes, so that's 10 players, and that's important, especially on the back-to-back and the way the Knicks have battled. And Salvatore walks away as the players jockey for position.
Well, that generosity resulted in a 24-11 in favor of the Knicks, scoring from the bench in the first half.
Henderson misses. Mutombo fouled on the follow, and Larry Johnson has his third. It's so difficult. They have battled so hard. Larry Johnson, Charles Oakley, what they've done in battling the 7-footers. The absence of not only Patrick Ewing, but Chris Dudley and Buck Williams.
You know, shot attempts is interesting, too, based on the rebounding and the way this thing went in the first half. The Knicks had 47 field goal attempts. 47. The Hawks, 30. The Hawks' front line of Corbin, Henderson, and Mutombo took 9 shots combined. Larry Johnson took 9 shots. Allen Houston took 9 shots. So the Hawks are just being out everything in the statistical department in this game thus far.
Except for free throw shooting, as
Yes,
Mutombo hit both.
That's right. That's where the Hawks are dominant.
That's what's keeping them right there.
Big deal.
By 12, Starks picks it out. Oakley has some time to shoot. Charles Oakley knocks it in. That is his first field goal attempt of the night. And Oakley gives the Knicks back a 14-point lead, almost 2 minutes gone by, and a double foul's called against Starks and Smith. It's obvious Bennett Salvatore sees pushing and shoving away from the ball, and he's trying to nip it in the bud. He's been very careful about that right from the start of the game.
Starks and Smith. Smith wants the position. Starks doesn't want him to have the position.
That wasn't an intense foul, but he's trying to send a message, I'm sure. Smith, pretty move off the dribble. Knicks lead by 12. Starks, a 3. Way off Mutombo, the rebound. His shot selection has been excellent tonight. That's not one of them, though.
The Knicks teammates of Starks weren't even to the top of the circle. It was 4 Hawks when he let that fly, when he let that shot go.
He has played very well tonight, but that was not a good shot. Steve Smith. Ty Corbin, another 3. Allen Houston tries to get the rebound, knocked away by Henderson. And Allen Henderson now in double figures with 11.
See, the scary thing for the Knicks is they've been dominating, basically, and it's only a 10.
And Allen Henderson now in double figures with 11.
See, the scary thing for the Knicks is they've been dominating, basically, and it's only a 10-point lead. And you know Steve Smith feels he can score, and he's demonstrated almost any time he wants. I think the big question is, are they going to go to Mutombo, who only had 2 shots in the first half in 19 minutes.
Johnson across the lane, kicks it out to a wide-open Oakley, but a foul on the pass-off. Ty Corbin call for the personal. His second. Only the first team foul. Knicks will inbound. Knicks, of course, have been struggling. They've lost 4 of 5, 7 of 9. Hawks come in winners of 3 in a row, 7 of 8. Ward on the pull-up. Corbin the rebound. 10-point Knick lead, just over 3 minutes gone by, third quarter. Rick Kastner. Smith against Starks, trying to take him off the dribble. The leader. Smith again. That's like the shot.
It's a killer matchup. It's a tough matchup for Starks just because of the size. The aggressiveness and the intent is there for Starks, but every time Smith can look over him, and that's what he did last time when he got a season-high 35 here at the Garden.
Jeff Van Gundy a 20-second timeout. That's like the shot, the same move that won the game for the Hawks when they played at the Garden earlier this year.
Right, he hit the game winner, correct.
6-0 run by the Hawks. Smith now with 16 points.
Here's a look at the New York Marriott Marquis Sky Cam. Knicks working hard under the boards, and Henderson getting that loose basketball and jamming it home. The New York Marriott Marquis, Broadway's biggest hit.
Smith loves playing at Madison Square Garden. Now it's 16. Had that 35-point game in the last meeting between the two. And incredible shooting at the game-winning shot, much like that last one he just took, as we said, with just under 3 seconds remaining. Played a lot that night, 46 minutes. Hawks starters are playing a lot of minutes again tonight. Allen Houston. Charles Oakley will try it again and knocks it in again.
Houston had that drive going, drew the attention, drew the help defenders, leaving Oakley open. Oakley doesn't hesitate on that jumper.
Knicks with a 10-point lead. We've played 4 minutes here in the third. Corbin, Oakley almost had a steal, and Henderson with an easy 2. Henderson starting to get on track. He's got 13 points.
Larry Johnson let him cut across the lane a little too close to the basket. When cutting, he got the basketball.
Knicks lead is just 8. Charlie Ward takes a dribble. That's a 2-pointer.
Hawks are not reacting well. I mean, here's Mutombo coming out to Ward. He didn't want to leave the lower area, so basically Ward got an open shot. A lot of open shots for this Atlanta Hawk teams. They're allowing a lot of open Knicks shots without contesting.
Rick Hasner drives down a lane on the pull-up. Knicks do a good job contesting that shot. Allen Houston helping out on D. Quickly the other way. Starks, beautiful feed to Johnson. Didn't have a lot of room, but Starks able to get it to him, and the Knicks are back up by 12. Knicks with 25 assists already. So we've only played 5 minutes into the third. Mutombo misses, gets his rebound. Not going to miss the second time. So hard when your tallest guy is 6'9", and Mutombo at 7'2". Once again, there's the assist. Hawks short in that department without Mookie Blaylock. Charlie Ward, wide open to 3. It's good. Charlie Ward from downtown. Larry Johnson waited until Ward was wide open. Good patience from Johnson.
Well, of course, Tyrone Corbin, who was matched up on Ward, ran down to double team Johnson, and he waited till he got there, as you say, Mike, and then delivered the ball to Ward for a wide open shot.
Knicks back up by 13. Chance of defense now being heard. Smith forces the jumper, puts it in. Steve Smith with Starks draped over him.
Well, when we see Mills come into the game, Chris Mills, that's where he's going to be heading, I would think, and that is in the direction of Steve Smith, as he did last time they met.
81-70. Smith with 18. Knicks, though, by 11. Larry Johnson coming out to get it. Shot clock down to 7. Johnson makes his move. Couple of spins. The fall-away shot. Henderson the rebound off the miss.
You hear the crowd excitement when Larry Johnson goes into that spinning move.
Steve Smith calling for the ball because Charlie Ward's on him. Again, the same move, and he banks it in.
Knicks have to do something about this. He's feeling it. It's looking too easy for Smith.
Steve Smith, 8 of his 20 points here in the third. As he looks at the Knicks bench when he walks off. 5:10 remaining in the third. The lead has been cut to 9. Against Golden State, our coverage against MCS Canada game night at 10. I would imagine, John, when the Jazz take that airplane into New York, that Karl Malone and Greg Ostertag will not sit next to each other on the plane.
I would think so, unless Ostertag wants to give out a different image than he has thus far to the mailman. Karl Malone revealing last week on the NBC telecast that he very clearly doesn't care for the Ostertag way of doing things. He hasn't impressed him with his work effort. I think he clearly resented the big contract he got from the Utah Jazz. Ostertag did.
Yeah, that's what spurred it on.
Yeah.
Johnson against Henderson, trying to spin his way in. Pass deflected by Corbin.
So we'll watch the body language during that game between those two.
Knicks leading by 9, 81-72. A turnover, by the way, for the Knicks. Only their 4th of the game with Kasner. Pass deflected by Johnson. Ward picks up his dribble and has to throw it ahead to Oakley. Starks makes his move. Oakley is open, backs up, and puts it in. Charles Oakley did not take a shot in the first half. He's 3 for 3 here in the third.
Mike, did you notice that pass that Charlie Ward threw, which was right in the direction of us, was a perfect spiral?
They all are, John. They all are. Ward pokes it away, tries to go for the steal again. Somebody's open now for the Hawks. But Tumbo gets to feed Ty Corbin with an excellent pass. We got the credit with Tumbo pointing to him as they ran up the floor. It's puzzling why they don't go to him a lot more. 83-74, 9-point Knicks lead. It's hard to believe this is still the third quarter as Oakley finally misses. But the Knicks have 83 points.
Charles was unguarded on that shot attempt, wide open.
Knicks still shooting 62% from the field. McCasner, Corbin, that's a 2. Charlie Ward high for the rebound. Ahead to Oakley. Charles Oakley running the floor, left-handed, drops it in.
When do you see that? Oakley beating everybody down. Actually, he's usually the defensive rebounder. Here he got out on the break. That was very impressive, as was the pass.
And now, John, that stat you brought up earlier, fast break points, Knicks 18, Hawks none. 11-point Knicks lead. Smith against Houston. And Allen Houston called for the foul, his 4th. Smith and Oakley staying near each other.
Potential skirmish there as Oakley took a swipe at Smith, who noted it after the foul was called.
And again, as a player, you're watching the game. We'll take a look at Oakley's fast break basket again.
Charlie Ward with the long lead pass to Oakley, perfectly thrown, and a left-handed finish by Charles. You know, he's much more comfortable going up with the left hand in those layup situations than his normally use of the right hand.
Was that a perfect spiral from Charlie Ward?
Yes, it was. Very good pickup, Mike.
I have a new thing to look for now. Smith against Mills.
A basketball spiral.
Smith forces it up. It's good. Boy, Steve Smith putting on a show here in the third quarter. Smith has 12 of his 22 of the period.
And that was with Mills on him, who just took over the job of trying to stop him.
Both teams really shooting the ball well tonight. Knicks leading by 9, 2.5 to play in the third. Charlie Ward, the penetration. Backs away. This is it. Mills had it, lost it. Ward picks it up. And the Knicks will set up the offense once again. Ward again on the penetration. Mills the jumper. Terry Cummings the offensive rebound. Knicks doing a superb job on the boards. 28-18 leading in that department. Cummings against Henderson. Cummings tied up. Mills wide open. This one won't go either, but offensive rebound. Knicks doing a superb job on the boards. 28-18 leading in that department. Cummings against Henderson. Cummings tied up. Mills wide open. This one won't go either, but Tumbo able to tip it to himself.
Both jumpers by Mills hitting the front of the rim low a bit.
9-point Knicks lead. 1:45 remaining, third quarter. Smith for 3. Smith finally misses. Oakley the rebound. And the Knicks tonight, look at the assists and then turnovers. That is
7-to-1 ratio. Coaches are very happy to see 3-to-1 from their point guards.
Starks with a 3, falling back and falling down. And the Knicks just like that back up by 12. Starks 14 points, 6 of 11 shooting, but he also has 6 assists. A little over a minute remaining in the third. Charlie Ward on the steal. Corbin deflects it to slow him down. Still a 2-on-1. Ward to Starks. Alley-up, and he puts it in. Knicks have equaled their largest lead of the game with just under a minute remaining in the third.
Charlie Ward once again, as he did the other night, showing that very humble appearance after that beautiful setup for Starks. Just looks down at the floor. No celebrating, Charlie.
The Tumbo hook shot is short. Ball tipped Henderson. Henderson drives, and a foul call on the pass-off. And we'll have timeout. 39.6 seconds remaining in the third. Knicks shooting 60% from the floor. They lead by 14. Drink responsibly, because friends know when to say when. A reminder from your friends at Budweiser. McMahon's happy after that third quarter. 39.6 seconds remaining still in the period, but Charlie Ward steal right here, setting up a beautiful play with John Starks.
Charlie Ward, that floating pass, and John Starks handled it beautifully. That was Charlie's 9th assist in the game. Meanwhile, the Hawks through 3 quarters have a total of 10 assists.
Ward, in addition to the 9 assists, 7 points, 3 of 7 from the field. Henderson will now shoot 2. That last foul was on Starks, his 3rd. Henderson 5 of 7 from the line, 13 total points.
Normally, a coach is very unhappy, as you can imagine, with the opposing team shooting over 50%, which the Hawks are doing, 51. However, a coach that might be unhappy, his team is shooting 60% thus far. The Knicks are shooting at a blazing rate.
13-point Knicks lead, under a half minute remaining in the third. Starks having one of his better games in a while. Drives the baseline, blocked from behind, got the shot off. Smith, though, with a strong defensive play. Steve Smith doing a little bit of everything here in the third quarter. Shot clock is turned off. Barry. Crawford. 2 seconds to go. Crawford throws up a wild shot. And there's the buzzer, ending the third quarter. A strong one for the Knicks as they increase their 10-point halftime lead. Larry Johnson leads the Knicks with 19 points. John Starks playing smart basketball. Steve Smith trying to beat the Knicks again at the guard. It's a 13-point lead after 3. Fourth quarter set to begin. Madison Square Garden. Knicks leading the Hawks 90-77. Our MCS Cannon game summary. Although if you look at the score, John, you think the game is over. 90 points for the Knicks already. The reason, 59% shooting from the field. Knicks have out-rebounded the Hawks. Incredible unselfishness from the Knicks tonight. 29 assists to go along with just 4 turnovers. And Steve Smith trying his best to keep the Hawks into this.
Well, the unselfishness is supported by very good shooting. Boy, at 60% through 3 quarters, that's amazing. Meanwhile, the Hawks' opponents this season have scored 100 or more points on only 13 occasions.
How about this? Our statistician David Freed says 29 games this year. The Knicks didn't even score 90 points for the game. Leitner blocked. Mills and Cummings right there to converge, but the ball hit the baseline. And the Hawks will get it with 10 on the clock.
Game number 66 for the Hawks. So they've only allowed 100 to their opponents 13 times out of 66.
Corbin shooting over Starks. Crawford had it. Mills knocks it away. Chris Mills with some good strength down low. Cummings coming out of the pack. No spin move for Cummings. Cummings kicks it out, ball deflected. Too much dribbling from the big man. Starks knocks it away from Barry and makes the steal.
And we'll go back the other way.
Lenny Wilkins thought Chris Childs carried the ball on the way up the floor. Mills crossover move. Won't go. Cummings the rebound. Blocked by Leitner. And they're going to call a jump ball. Excellent defense, Christian Leitner. They'll do it at the Knicks free throw line circle. Cummings has played well. 10 points, 8 rebounds. A violation called against the Hawks. Knicks will get it, saying that the tap was stolen by Leitner. Leitner and Wilkins were voicing their displeasure right after the call. Childs tonight has played 13 minutes. Looks a lot better than last night, but still, it's obvious he's not 100%, both timing-wise and injury-wise. Sets up for the jumper. That's a 2. Leitner the rebound. And Cummings and Leitner going at it underneath. Cummings already has a technical foul, so any double technical here, Cummings would be tossed, and the Knicks would sorely miss him the way he's played. A loose ball foul is going to be called against Terry Cummings. Cummings would be wise to stay away. Bennett Salvatore is yelling at him. Again, Cummings one technical from automatic ejection. He got one earlier.
Yeah, I would think there'll be no tolerance for any more Let's see what happened here now on that shot by Chris Childs. A lot of pushing going on between Leitner.
You know, I said Leitner, but it was Crawford.
Crawford and Cummings.
Blocking foul called on Charles Oakley.
Oh, boy. That looked like Oakley had his position, and the man just leaped into him.
Even Don Chaney, the Knicks assistant, very upset. You rarely see him get off the bench. And he was upset and yelling.
You know, that was a response by Crawford in support of his teammate. I think that was just a physical play that Crawford tried to make a statement.
We saw Don Chaney.
And Chaney, who will have a birthday on Sunday.
Crawford hits the first. And while we have a moment, of course, the other Knick assistant, Brendan Malone, is recovering as expected so far in the hospital from the prostate cancer surgery that he recently had. And as always, we send out our best wishes and thoughts to Brendan.
I'm speaking with assistant coach Dick Helm, who went through that surgery last fall. Lenny Wilkins' longtime assistant, and he came back strong, and I know he and Brendan have a nice bond as well, sharing this experience.
Starks the pass. Terry Cummings able to get it. Crawford nearly able to deflect it, but Starks threw it quick enough. John Starks has tied a season high with 7 assists. Knicks back up by 13. Childs is trying to deny Barry the basketball and make the other Hawks make the move like Henderson. And Alan Henderson having a good game. 16 points for Henderson. Knicks lead cut to 11.
Strong move by Henderson.
Knicks would like to extend the lead with Steve Smith and Dikembe Mutombo on the bench right now here to start the fourth. Johnson to Mills, and Mills foul by Henderson.
Nice to play with a guy who looks for the cutters as Larry Johnson does. He gets the ball and he looks. Is anyone going to cut? Any action going on in my direction? If not, then he takes it. Here's Henderson a moment ago. Watch him turn up the speed. Right into the layup.
Chris Mills go to the line. This is the first free throw attempt of the second half for the Knicks, so they went the entire third quarter without any free throws. Only their 9th for the game. Knicks are 9 for 9 from the line. The Hawks have taken 32 free throws. Still very early in the fourth, just over 2 minutes gone by. Mills 1 of 2.
Knicks are treating this game with that playoff type intensity that they know they have to present every game the rest of the way.
Henderson with the spin. And Alan Henderson making some nice plays. He's got 18 points, and the Knicks lead is 10. He has been on a real roll since being inserted into the starting lineup. They called that foul on Larry Johnson. I stand corrected. I apologize. That's his 4th. Where the official made it looked like it was going to stay on the same side. But Johnson picks up his 4th for pushing off. Offensive foul. Chris Childs has been all over Barry. Finally draws the charge. There are a lot of whistles in this one. It's obvious, and we said this from the beginning, John, that Dennis Salvatore and the crew said, we're going to call this tight because it's going to be a physical game.
Yes, you can see Barry expressing his frustration, banging into Childs.
10-point Knick lead. Almost 3 minutes gone by, fourth quarter. Childs to Mills. Mills underneath. Beautiful give and go.
All of a sudden, Childs had 2 men on him as they tried to execute that pick and roll. Mills rolled, and he got the ball from Childs.
6 assists for Childs. Timeout Hawks. Knicks by 12 early in the fourth. PM for Yankees spring training action. On Saturday, Yanks to the Royals. Then on Sunday, Yanks battle the Texas Rangers. Yankees spring training action all weekend. Only on MSG. Knicks basketball on MSG right now. Just over 3 minutes gone by in the fourth. Knicks leading by 12. Chris Childs and Chris Mills working beautifully.
Yes, that little pick by Mills, that gets rid of his man. He goes straight to the basket as the Knicks had cleared out the entire left side for that play.
Childs is doing a good job on Barry down the other end. not letting him be involved in the offense. Henderson, and a legal defense against the Knicks, their third, so a technical foul. But Van Gundy has watched his team lose a lot of tough games and has really been happy with the team. Continues to bounce back and play hard despite being undermanned, despite having an injured team and retired team, and Steve Smith will come back.
I think the greatest compliment, Mike, as you often do, I know, is talking to opposing team coaches about the Knicks. And they just shake their heads and say, what a job Jeff Van Gundy and this team is doing.
Definitely a Coach of the Year candidate, the way the Knicks have played without Patrick Ewing. An 11-point Knick lead. Smith, 8 on the shot clock. Corbin, Leitner with a quick shot. Christian Leitner puts it in. The lead is cut to 9. Still so much time, over 8 minutes left.
Yes, a dry spell offensively by the Knicks could be deadly. That's what they're going to try and avoid, obviously, and hoping to continue to shoot the ball as well as they have tonight, which has been amazing at 60%.
Leitner deflects it out. Still Knick ball. 8 on the shot clock. Those two will be teammates on the USA basketball team coming up. And the World Championships. Knicks get it in bounds. The handoff. Childs behind the back to Houston. That's a 2. Won't go. 95-86. A 9-point Knick lead. Knicks trying to hold on. Barry. Feet underneath, and Anderson puts it in. This is the closest the Hawks have been in the second half. And Jeff Van Gundy will use one of his timeouts. Just over 7.5 remaining in the fourth. Knick lead has been cut to 7. Here at the Garden, just over 7.5 remaining in the fourth. What was a 13-point lead to start the period has been cut to 7. An 11-5 run by Atlanta to start the fourth. Houston on Smith. They look to double. Smith knocks it away, but he's called for the reach-in foul. 3 fouls on Smith. And for the Hawks, that's their second team foul. Childs playing a lot of minutes here in the second half and playing well. Houston now has Corbin on him, gets it down to Johnson. Larry Johnson misfires. Mills to save it. And he does, out to Oakley.
What a play. That was an Oakley-type play by Mills.
Johnson has it poked away by Anderson. 5 on the shot clock. Larry Johnson, the spin. Won't go. Leitner the rebound. Barry pushing it up the floor. And the Hawks now slow down.
Mentally, the Knicks really need a stop here. Keep the Hawks to within 5.
Leitner, second thoughts on the 3. Not this time. Leitner puts in the 3. And just like that, it's a 4-point game. 95-91. It was a 13-point lead after 3. An 8-0 run now by Atlanta.
That was Leighton's 6th 3-point make of the year.
Oakley sent falling down. Houston makes his move. Smith reaches in. A lot of contact. 4 on the shot clock. Childs 2 on the shot clock. Puts it up. Won't even hit the rim. And a 24-second violation. Oakley yelling at Tom Washington. He wanted a foul call down the other end. .6:13 remaining. Childs will sit down along with Mills. Ward and Starks will come in. Boy, Smith looks like a lot of contact there on Allen Houston.
But Gallo was just pushed into giving that ball up.
Hawks have made their last 5 shots to pull within 4. They have not led since late in the first quarter. Leitner, power move, throws it off the glass. What a shot. And Leitner showing some fire. He's got 17.
Which have to regenerate the offense now.
10 straight points by the Hawks.
Hawks really getting into their defense for the first time in this game in the last couple of minutes.
Starks, ball deflected out of bounds. Last touch by Johnson. Knicks have gone over 3 minutes without a point.
Hawks have come to life also with their big man on the bench. Mutombo hasn't been seen in a while.
Larry Johnson. At 6'11", a tough matchup. They double this time. Barry, 2 on the shot clock. Leitner, a 3 won't go. Oakley the rebound. Quick outlet Starks. And Starks did not like the numbers, so he pulls back. 2-point Knick lead. Just over 5 minutes remaining. And a foul call on Barry as Houston took it to the hole. Third team foul. And the third on Barry. Knicks led by 13 to start the fourth quarter. And they've been outscored 16-5 since then. Starks makes his move, bumped by Smith. And Smith holds on to make sure Starks not hurt. That's the 14th foul, 4 on Smith. Knicks have now got over 4 minutes without scoring. So strong offensively all night long. A horrible time for a drought.
Hawks have really reached down and found some defensive effort here in the fourth quarter.
Starks a 3, way off the mark. Oakley saves it. Allen Houston a 3. It's good. Allen Houston with a clutch basket. The Knicks needed that one as they go up 98-93. Just over 4.5 remaining in the fourth. They break the scoring drought. They're close to 4.5 minutes. Smith wants to take it the other way. Ty Corbin a 3. Hawks get it right back. Ty Corbin so hot from downtown in recent weeks.
Yes, 2 games ago he had 4 in a quarter. Earlier this year he couldn't make a 3.
Knick lead cuts to 2 again. Houston against Corbin. Johnson sets the screen. Allen Houston the drive, blocked by Leitner. Corbin, quick outlet to Barry. Knicks get back in a hurry. Cadillac Anderson down the lane, and he puts it in, and the game is tied. What a comeback by the Atlanta Hawks here in the fourth quarter. 3:53 remaining in the fourth. Knicks call timeout. 15-3 Atlanta run. We're tied at 98. Remaining in the fourth quarter. The Knicks have blown a 13-point lead in this period. Hawks on a 15-3 run to tie it at 98. Christian Laettner, a big reason why.
Yes, Christian Laettner going into his strength game, and it makes an amazing shot. Very difficult with Larry Johnson on him closely. Allen Houston then driving strong to the basket. And Laettner with that rejection at the other end. Barry almost loses control of the basketball, but Cadillac Anderson rolls in for 2 points.
Laettner 8 of his 17 here in the fourth. For Steve Smith. Has been so tough against the Knicks. I tell you, the matchup, Smith and Allen Houston going at it pretty good. Fairly close tonight. 22 for Smith, 18 for Allen Houston. Knicks with Ward, Houston, Johnson, Oakley, and Starks on the floor right now. Starks and Smith have been matched up quite a bit tonight.
In terms of the usual burden that Allen Houston carries, only taking 13 shots.
Ward, the penetration. Oakley, back to Ward. Wide open shot for Ward. He drills it. Charlie Ward with a big bucket. Assist from Charles Oakley. That's the Knicks' 33rd assist of the game. That's a season high. But their lead is only 2. Laettner trying to get the ball. Johnson denied. Laettner's really been calling for it this entire fourth quarter.
Yeah, pouring it into him.
Knicks look to double. Corbin, a 3. In and out. Rebound. Anderson, and he flips it in there. Cadillac Anderson. Game tied again with 3:05 remaining.
Interesting use of personnel by Lenny Wilkins. Cadillac Anderson occupying the closing minutes here. 6 points in 6 minutes. Mutombo on the bench for a long time.
Oakley knocks down the shot, and the Knicks back up by 2. 11 points for Oakley. 2-point Knick lead. Just over 2.5 remaining. Chance of defense again from the sold-out Garden. Smith against Starks. Knicks looking to double. Johnson comes over to help. 3 on the shot clock. Smith forces it up. That's good. Steve Smith.
Amazing. shot, but he had to do it.
2 on the shot clock when he put it up. Game is tied, 2:13 remaining. Smith has 24. Starks makes his move. Kicks it back out. Oakley steps up for another jumper. Knocks it down. Charles Oakley, back-to-back jumpers. And the Knicks 104-102 lead.
Starks picking up Steve Smith. Boy, he's got to get help now.
Under 2 minutes remaining. Pass to Leitner. He's fouled. Shot won't go. Just falls off the rim. And Leitner will shoot 2 as John Starks picks up his 4th.
The last time down, they were in an offensive sequence, and Leitner didn't get the pass from Barry that he expected, and Leitner was crazed in his direction. This time he finds him. You can see he looked for Leitner right away and got him the ball.
Christian Leitner is 3rd in the NBA in free throw shooting at 88%. And he misses. It's been a strange game.
3 starters on the bench for the Hawks, with Kasner, Henderson, and Mutombo.
For Lenny Wilkins, that unit has worked well. Leitner 1 of 2. Nick Lead is 1 with 1:48 remaining and counting.
It's going with their 5 starters who began the game tonight.
Smith all over Starks. Oakley finds Houston. Shot clock down to 8. Allen Houston on the baseline. Pull up. It's good. Allen Houston and a foul. Transfer 3-point play. Knicks hitting some clutch shots now in the final couple of minutes. A 3-point lead as Houston now has 20.
Allen Houston with a surprise stop off the dribble. He's under pressure, but he cans it. 7 for 14 from the field for Allen Houston.
And a big free throw as well. Lenny Wilkins will call timeout. That has become a bread and butter shot for Allen Houston, that baseline. He hit it over Derek McKee in the Indiana game. And a big one for the Knicks, who lead by 4. Minute and a half remaining. Tied it up. Charles Oakley hitting 2 back-to-back baskets. This one courtesy of John Starks. The penetration of it, finding the open man.
Boy, Knicks are doing such a good job tonight, penetrating it in, kicking it out to the open man. And they're hitting the big shots now in the stretch, and this is a good example of that. Under pressure, Allen Houston hits the jump shot, doesn't even hit the rim.
That assist from Starks now gives him a season-high 8 plus 16 points. Allen Houston with 21 points. Charles Oakley having a huge second half. All 13 of his points, or I should say 12 of the 13 in the second half. He had a free throw in the first half. Did not attempt a shot in the first half.
Okay, Steve Smith's the assassin here now.
Starks on him.
Starks has got to get help, though.
Leitner. 3. No, they call it 2. They change it. Leitner yelling at Rodney Mott, saying it should have been a 3. So is Lenny Wilkins. Mott initially put up the hands for 3, but then changed it. The lead is 2 for the Knicks. 109 remaining.
Leitner, not a good long-range shooter. He's killing the Knicks tonight with that shot.
Starks penetrates. Back to Oakley. Oakley to Larry Johnson. Left-handed. Off the rim. Corbin tries to save it. Goes out of bounds. Knicks get a break there. Lenny Wilkins still arguing it should have been a 3, but Bennett Salvatore, another official, says no way. Knicks get a new 24. The lead is 2, 57 seconds remaining.
Knicks protecting himself now with 2 timeouts should they need them.
Starks holding. Double team ready to converge. Starks makes his move. Starks off the glass, in and out. Rebound taken by Johnson and Anderson, and he'll jump it up.
Well, Steve Smith was sending Starks baseline. All of a sudden, he was wide open, and Starks took that room and went for it. There was no help there till the very end.
Big height advantage here for Atlanta with Cadillac, Anderson, and Johnson. 40.4 seconds remain. Knicks lead by 2. Johnson out-jumps him. Fight for the ball. Knocked out of bounds. They haven't made the call yet. Knicks ball. There it is. Officials waited. Leitner wanted a jump ball, as did Barry, but they'll give it to the Knicks.
Leitner moments ago, check the foot on the line, that right foot.
It looks like the right toe was on the line. Right now they have 22 seconds on the shot clock. 37.7 remaining on the game clock. Knicks by 2. Ward getting the play from Jeff Van Gundy.
Middle wide open now. Want to consume some time, which they're doing.
8 on the shot clock. Ward, the penetration, the pull-up. It's good. Charlie Ward dumps it in. And the Knicks are back up by 4 with 20.8 seconds remaining. Charlie Ward, a huge bucket. And the Knicks lead by 4. The MSG Network, all the national stories, including the NCAA tournament and NBA action. But the focus on the local scene at midnight tonight on the MSG Network. 20.8 seconds remain. Fourth quarter, Madison Square Garden. Knicks now lead the Hawks 109-105. Atlanta will get the ball at half court. The Hawks still have one full timeout and a 20, but they're down 4 because of this play from Charlie Ward.
Set play for the Knicks. Charlie Ward one-on-one. And he beats Barry with a beautiful move. Knicks bench very excited about that, naturally, giving the Knicks now some breathing room with a 4-point lead.
Ward, 11 points and 10 assists. Having another strong game, 9 of the 11 in the second half.
Charlie Ward, a very religious guy, looking to the sky. Thanks.
That is unselfish basketball right there. Knicks 35 assists at the season high. Ward with his 4th double-double of the season. He had a career high 19 points last night. And maybe the game winner tonight. But there's still plenty of time, considering there's the timeout situation. The Hawks have somebody named Steve Smith on the floor.
Amazing. Both teams shooting exactly 55% in the game.
McCaster's back in. There's Smith. Starks on him.
That'll be help ready for Starks.
Smith with a three-pointer. Off the mark. Corbin the rebound. Corbin blocked by Houston. Gets it back again. And there's a foul. And they'll call it in the act of shooting. Ty Corbin will shoot 2 with 7.8 seconds remaining. 5 fouls on Starks.
Tell you, better this than for the Knicks than having Corbin take a shot. This than for the Knicks than having Corbin take a shot, make it, and draw a foul. This is a 2-point situation now instead of potentially a 3-point situation for them.
Corbin's first free throws of the night. He's just under 79% for the season. An excellent free throw shooter. And how about that? Another big miss at the line for the Hawks. Leitner missed one earlier.
Well, this game is in the Knicks' hands.
Lenny Wilkins' team stormed back. Down 13 in the 4th. They stormed back without Dikembe Mutombo.
Well, he must be fatigued. He hasn't played in a long time.
Corbin's second one is good. Nick lead is 3, 7.8 remaining. Starks quickly fouled by Smith. Less than a second goes off the clock. And John Starks will go to the line. Starks can seal it by making 2.
Well, the Knicks, you know, are very pleased to have somebody like Starks, who's just about an 80% foul shooter, 79.4, and of course Allen Houston was ready also to get that inbounds pass, an 86% foul shooter.
Starks, his first trip to the line tonight, and he's at 79%, as you mentioned.
Similar to last night, he was on the line and made the shots.
Misses the first. Starks tonight, 16 points, a season high, 8 assists in a season high 42 minutes. It's his first start of the season tonight. The Starks got the call to begin the game. Smith and Houston enjoying each other's company. Starks, one of his best games in a while, has played a terrific all-around game. Second one off the mark. Corbin, the rebound, and timeout called by the Hawks. And the Knicks give Atlanta some life. 5.9 remaining in the 4th. Knicks holding on to a 3-point lead. Dikembe Mutombo, who's been on the bench most of the second half, watching as Starks missing the free throws. That's reaction from Starks. Hawks still have a 20-second timeout, so if they can't get it inbounds, they can at least call a timeout.
Well, the stage is set for Steve Smith to do what he did last time they met on January 11th. He hit the winning shot, ironically, after Starks missed a free throw with 13 seconds left in that last meeting.
That was a 2-point leaner between two defenders. There you see the three-point shooting. They are 4 of 10. Smith is 0 for 3 from three-point range tonight. Leitner 1 for 2. Rick Hasner 1 of 1. And Ty Corbin is 2 of 4. Stark certainly thinking about the free throws. Now has to worry about playing defense.
Well, on this inbound now, we're going to have a change with Allen Houston going to Steve Smith.
Corbin, Rick Hasner, Leitner, Henderson, and Smith on the floor.
They're not going to guard the inbound passer. They're going to double team whoever gets the ball.
Rick Hasner, a good shooter from three-point range. Ward knocks it away. Rick Hasner gets it back, and there's the foul. And the Knicks over the limit. They will not let the Hawks take a three-pointer. Rick Hasner goes to the line.
Good foul. Good foul.
So with 2.3 remaining, you would think Rick Hasner is going to try and hit the first and then try to miss the second. So that obviously the strategy by the Knicks to foul to make sure that a three-point attempt will not happen.
So the Knicks choose the route of much longer odds against the Hawks than risking them making a three.
Rick Hasner is now 53 of 54 on the season, 98%. Hits the first. I think he would have trouble missing. As Terry Cummings comes in, Starks will sit down. Rick Hasner and Smith obviously chatting.
It's a rebounding call by Jeff Van Gundy. More size on the court now, and Lenny Wilkins has a couple of moments now to talk to his team
about the strategy and whether or not to miss right away. Of course, Smith won the game for the Hawks last time these two played at the Garden. It was January 13th, game tied at this point. Mills and Starks all over him. Smith eludes him, puts it in with 2.6 remaining. Knicks came down, and John Starks unable to get it to go down. Well, heartbreaking loss. Knicks have had a number of those this year. And Smith enjoyed it after a 35-point night.
Well, Smith felt big that night because the first time they met in November in Atlanta, the Knicks broke the red-hot Atlanta Hawks 11-game winning streak. He didn't play in that game, so he was real happy about his presence the last time they met in January, how much it meant.
Now, if Hasner hits the shot, the Hawks would go for a steal and try and foul, but I doubt that's their strategy. I would think you'd have to go for the miss here. There's just not enough time when they're out of timeouts.
Tumbo makes his return, as does Henderson.
Hasner has said he doesn't know what it's like to miss. Oakley, Cummings, and Johnson along the lane, along with Smith and Mutombo.
Well, Mutombo's going to go hard for this offensive rebound.
Rick Hasner banks it in. He tried to miss it, and he banked it in.
As you said, he couldn't miss.
Knicks inbound. Houston quickly fouled with 1.6 remaining, and the Knicks holding on to a 1-point lead. He's just too good a free throw shooter. There's no question. By the way he released it, he was trying to miss.
Most unusual. Here's a guy trying to miss, and he couldn't do it.
They reset it now to 1.8. Hawks are out of timeouts. Houston, even if he hits both free throws, it only makes it a 3-point lead. And the Hawks, certainly if they throw in a desperation heave, at the buzzer could tie it. No timeouts left for Atlanta, so they can't call it and get a ball at half court. Big free throws, though, here from Allen Houston. He's 5 for 5 from the line, and he's got a Knick-high 21 points.
Coaching staff and the Hawks signaling get down court to Kembe on defense. Don't go too deep, though, Kembe, because it's going to be a little further out.
A third straight miss from the line for the Knicks. 2 by Starks, 1 by Houston. The Hawks still alive.
The best 2 foul shooters.
And now Jeff Van Gundy will call timeout with 1.8 remaining. One more free throw coming up. Van Gundy and Don Chaney and Tom Thibodeau discussing their options. So still 1 timeout left for the Knicks. Hawks out of timeouts. And Houston with 1 free throw coming up. And it is Rick Hasner just before. This is the second attempt. It really looks like he's appearing to do that. Knicks were in the same situation. Starks trying to miss this against Atlanta as well. The ball was deflected out. worked to perfection, and Allen Houston drilled the three.
That tied the game, excuse me, Mike. That was seconds before the dramatic ending, which was concluded by Steve Smith. But that was an amazing play, showing that this can happen on the intentional miss.
Now you wonder, again, with the Knicks one timeout, you wonder if the Knicks would be better off missing one right now. Because if they miss, the ball caroms off, it's going to take a second or so. Hawks would just have to chuck it. Whereas if Allen Houston hits the free throw, and it's only a 2-point game, the Hawks can then set themselves along the baseline and get a good solid pass somewhere down the court where it'd be, instead of a full-length shot, it'd be half-court or even a quarter-court shot.
I think you're right. I think you're right, but I'll be surprised if the Knicks do that.
That's for Kasner after he made the one that we think he tried to miss. It'll be interesting to see which strategy Jeff Van Gundy decides to take, because again, if the ball caroms off, it's going to take a while first to get it, and then you'll have to immediately throw it down. You don't have time to set up for an inbounds pass after a make.
I think it's so unlikely that they could make a shot with that amount of time left. I think they'll go for the points, but even if they did make the shot, it would still be a 3 and they'd still lose the game. So it's a good point.
Allen Houston to the line, one more. 1.8 remaining. Knicks holding on to a 1-point lead. Houston tries to miss it. Henderson gets it. He's going to have to heave it up. It won't count. Even if it went in, he did not get it off in time, and the Knicks obviously looked to miss it. That was the strategy.
Yes, obviously good strategy, too, because there just wasn't enough time to get a shot.
And the Knicks hold on for a very important victory as they beat the Atlanta Hawks 109-108. Knicks showing some character tonight. They played well for 3 quarters, were up by 13 after 3. The Hawks, though, stormed back and tied the game. But the Knicks showing their resiliency, bounced right back, hitting some big shots. And the Knicks hold on for the win. 6 players in double figures.